Hey guys, the Adventure Bug here, and welcome to just a thinking video, I guess. Like, today in science, we talked about how, big a star is and how big the galaxy is. And it just blew my mind. And also, what is it like with, what is it like after death? You have to go someplace, right? So, I'm going to be talking about all that in this video. I don't know how long it's going to be. I haven't planned anything for this, so. Let's just do it. Anyway. So, basically, all I know, right now, I wouldn't say all I know would be the right way to say it, but what I'm thinking about all this, think of it. You're a tiny little atom compared to how big the universe is. In just our galaxy, there are billions of stars. One planet around most of them. At least one planet around most of them. And that just blows my mind. There is a star, 100 million probably, times Earth, times the size of Earth. Think of that, dude. How? Just how? And then plus, there's more galaxies than our galaxy, which means there could be an even bigger star, an even bigger planet than we've already discovered through the Hubble Space Telescope and, powerful telescopes like that. People have seen images, just images, because obviously it takes pictures, but just images that might be galaxies. We don't even know if there is, but I mean, I think there's a pretty big chance that there is different galaxies. And then outside of those galaxies outside of our galaxy is a bunch of other galaxies. And then those galaxies are what make up the universe. It's like the galaxies are the stars in our universe, or in our solar system, or not so, in our galaxy. It's like the universes are our stars, pretty much. Which just blows my mind. Honestly, it's just, it's too big, it's so hard to comprehend. That means we are literally the size of an atom compared to that. We're not even going to be able to travel there for probably 1,000,000 years. I wouldn't say maybe 1,000,000, but at least 100,000. There's no way. We're not technologically advanced. We are only, I think he said, we're only if anything, if we really work towards it, we would be a 10th. No, not 10th. 0.10, I think he said. 0.10 or something like that. Times what we would have to do to travel in light speed. Just blows my mind. And I want to see what happens in the future, because I'm kind of I want to see what happens. I want to see what we discover. Which comes to the question, what happens after death? Because I know I'm not going to be on this earth forever. Unless cryogenic freezing comes out in the next 60 years. But I really don't think so. I really don't think we would have the technology to do that. Maybe in 100 years, but honestly, I'm 14, okay? I'm almost 15. I'm gonna be 15 in a few months, but I would probably only live until 2106, if anything. That's me at age 100. Exactly. I don't even think I'll live that long. I think I'll probably live till 70, which shortens it more, even more than that. which is just crazy to me, like what they have, like what they might have in the future. And that comes to the question, what happens after death? Me and Dylan Elling, you know, or Sir Assassin, you know him on YouTube as Sir Assassin. Dylan and me were talking about things like what would be the best that would happen after death. And I like either reincarnation or you wander as a spirit. Wandering as a spirit would be perfect because you could go around different galaxies and you maybe even jump universes to different multiverses, which that's just a theory. But yeah, that's just a theory, of course, but I don't know, dude. It's crazy to think about it, like what? And like, yeah, wandering as a spirit would be perfect. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorites. Or another one, reincarnation. I like that as well. I also kind of like one where if you die, you just wake up like you were in a coma and you just proceed with that life until you die again. Then you wake up in a coma, or you wake up from a coma and you proceed that life. Then you die, then you wake up from a coma. Endless cycle. But you don't remember anything from the past life. I would be remembering stuff from the past life because obviously I would have had to die to get here, right? But no, apparently not. I was never in a coma. I don't remember anything like that, so I think that would be a cool one, but I really don't think it's true. But I think the Wandering Spirits is a really cool one. And I'm religious, like I believe in Christ, you know, I believe in God, so I do think the Greek gods and stuff are cool, but I don't believe in them. I think that God exists, but I think he just allows people different types of deaths. Like, there's people that supposedly have been reincarnated, and they can remember everything from the past life. But then, there's also people who have seen, like, heaven, or like a glimpse of heaven and hell when they die for a little, then they come back. But that could just be a figment of their imagination, what they want to see, or what their brain is telling them they should see. And also, Dylan's grandpa, I think he said, had a heart attack and died twice, technically. His heart stopped, but they got it going again. I don't know if he died after that. Like, I don't know when he died or if he died even, but all Dylan told me is he had a heart attack and he apparently saw himself in like third person pretty much. And I think maybe, just maybe, that was just like the spirit leaving the body, or it could have been what his mind wanted him to see, because your brain is powerful. Even when you're dead, that's still like a dying process. Even if all your vitals are shut down, like, even if your heart stops, I think your brain is still active for a little at least. It has to be. So, for like maybe a few seconds. But that could just be what people wanted to see, right? And if you're shocking their heart, also that pump, or if you're, you know, whatever, the clear, you know, that stuff that brings people alive, that can, like, get blood running through them and make your brain think for a second, then it'll die again, and think for a second, you know, like, because they keep shocking you until they can't anymore, because it's either going to harm you or they just pronounce you dead. And, well, Dylan's grandpa had a first-hand experience, so, you know? But I also think the Wandering Spirit, like, I really do think the Wandering Spirit is probably the best option for me, because I want to see what happens to this civilization, to these people on Earth. There is actually a planet towards the center of our galaxy that could be more suitable for life than Earth. Which is crazy to think about. It's light years away, of course. We're never going to get there. It'll take thousands of years to even get there. But it's crazy to think that that's even possible. We're an ant in our we're a tiny little ant in our giant universe. Smaller than an ant, actually. We're more like a grain of rice. No, they're about the same size, but a grain of rice. Take it or leave it. A grain of rice in this giant galaxy. Like, what? Like, we think the Earth is big, because it is. But then there's this frickin' star that's 100 million times the size of it. Do you know our sun, Sol? It revolves around the Milky Way every 220 million years. Because obviously the Milky Way, there's stars revolving around it. That's what makes it a galaxy. Like, what? Like, what? Dude. It's so weird. It's so weird to think, literally, it's so, like, the galaxy, the universe is so vast. If we just had the technology, we could travel anywhere we wanted to. But we don't. And that's why I find it so interesting, is because when we develop technology, like the first technology, like light speed technology, we might actually be able to travel to different planets light years away. If we travel at light speed, it will travel 1 light year away in, like, it's like kind of like miles per hour, but I think it's like, if you're traveling at light speed, well, I guess since it's a light year, it would take a year to get there. But that's nothing compared to thousands of years. Like, oh, jeez. So interesting to think about. My brain can't even comprehend it. I mean, my brain's still developing, so obviously, but it's crazy. It's crazy how vast this galaxy is. And what comes after death? No one knows. It's never been proven. No one has actually died for a significant amount of time, came back and said, this is what it was like. Okay, this is what it was like. Nope. No one has ever done it. They've only died for either a few minutes or a few seconds. There's no person who has died for an hour and came back to life. At least I don't think so. If so, then there's no person who has died for a day. Let alone, like, there's no person, I don't think, who has died for even 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. The only possible thing I would think would be you die for 1 hour and you get brought back. Because after 1 hour, everything is like shuts down. Like, there's no taking you back usually, unless they perform a miracle and they somehow bring you back, which would be insane. And then you would come back after an hour, be like, yeah, I did this for an hour. But the only thing we have to reference anything like that after death is people's word. A lot of people have a lot of different experiences. Dylan's grandpa, he said he was like in third person, floating above his body. I saw this one guy on YouTube. He said he died for a few minutes, or I think it was like 5 minutes or something, and he heard God's voice say, "You have failed me," and then he dropped down to hell, and it was like suffering so bad, and then they brought him back. But then there's some people who could have been reincarnated, which we don't even know if that's true, but could have been. They remember all this stuff from their past life, because we don't actually know if it was actually their past life. And yeah, they could just get reincarnated. Plus, we don't even know if there's spirits wandering around the earth. I think there is. Like in Japanese culture, there's usually spirits roaming the earth, like in Bleach, even. There's spirits roaming the earth waiting for the soul reapers to do a soul burial on them, which basically just brings them to the soul society. And it's like another society there. You live there in peace. And you can die there too, which doesn't really make all that much sense, but like there's spirits. A lot of different cultures believe in spirits. Indians believe in spirits, or I should say Native Americans, because Indians are like, you know, Asia and Africa and stuff. And yeah, I should say either American Indians or Native Americans, but like Native Americans, they believe in spirits. They believe that they shouldn't kill all that much animals because people come back as animals. That's reincarnation through animals. And I would think that would be really cool too, to come back as an animal. I mean, you would get hunted, of course, but I think that would be really cool. I really think it would be cool to stay a spirit though, keep all your memories, and you can see other spirits, you can talk to them, you can be like, "Hey dude, what's up," you know? I just hope that I become a spirit after I die. Like, obviously heaven, I want to go to heaven if it does exist. There's no proof. I believe in it, but there's no proof. There's no scientific evidence that heaven exists. Only people's word. And there's also no proof that reincarnation exists. But we just have people's word. I mean, there is people who could be reincarnated on this earth, and there's also people who could have went to heaven too. Like, there could be multiple options, because God allows like nature to happen and stuff. Like, I believe that He's just allowing these different types of death to happen, because like, I don't think there's a religion that has all these different types of deaths like combined, because there's a bunch of different types of deaths, and like I mean, like after deaths, like there's a bunch of different afterlives in different religions and cultures, and I hope that all of them are true in some way. Not so much hell, but that can't really be stopped if it is true, so I mean, yeah. That's just something I was thinking of. In the giant frickin' galaxy, the giant frickin' universe. So, like, vast. It's like, what? You're just wondering what's beyond stuff. Because, I mean, it's human nature to wonder about stuff. I mean, just curiosity, you know? It's just human nature. And I'm really wondering what's beyond. What is on that planet that is apparently more suitable than Earth? More suitable for life than Earth. What is on that? There could be extraterrestrials. We don't know, because we're light years away from it. And if we tried to travel there, even if we seen it, we would be seeing light that is thousands of years old, because light travels. That's why speed of light, the light can only travel so fast. So to your eyes, you're looking at probably thousands, maybe even millions of years ago. Also, another point I wanted to make about the death thing. How would heaven keep like hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of people in heaven at once? That would just get crowded, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so there might be people in hell, might be people in heaven, might be people reincarnated, and might be people even wandering the earth as spirits, or wandering the galaxy as spirits, maybe even the universe, going to different galaxies as a spirit. And I think you could warp as a spirit too. I think that would be pretty cool. But you keep your memories too. I really think that could be a thing. And I hope I'm a wandering spirit through the universe or whatever. I really do, because like, what am I gonna do after death? You only, like, this is a lesson. Do what you want on earth while you're alive, because you don't know what comes after. Do what you really want to do. Don't do something you hate. Do something you love to do that keeps you sustained enough so you can live. And I know there's a bunch of life problems. Like right now, I don't want to do driver's ed for 3 hours after school, which is already 7 hours. That's 10 hours of just sitting there. I don't want to do that. Guess what? I have to. If I want to drive ever, I'm going to have to. So I have to suck it up and do it. And that's just a small life problem compared to the vast, like, space of the universe. That's a small problem. Einstein dropped out when he was in 8th grade because they said he wasn't smart enough, but guess what? He was. He turned out to be one of the smartest people. Stephen Hawking, look at him. He was mentally, like, he could not move. He had like paralysis or something. I don't know his condition exactly, but that just made him smarter because it made him use his brain more, because that's the only thing he can use. So he spent a bunch of time at the library apparently. This from Dylan. Like, Dylan told me he apparently spent a bunch of time at the library reading books. I'm guessing about space because he was a pretty good astronomer. He's a pretty good scientist in general. He had some pretty good theories, like the black hole paradox. I think that's what it was called. Or I don't know exactly what it was called, but it was a Stephen Hawking is this smart dude. Albert Einstein, one of the first very smart scientists that made huge breakthroughs. This is why I want to become a spirit, so I can see what happens in the future. Imagine if Einstein was a spirit watching us right now. That would be crazy. As a spirit, you don't have to worry about anything. You can do what you want, right? But I don't know if that's guaranteed that you will become a spirit after you die. And that's why you should do things now instead of waiting. Because, like, there's all this space we still need to discover. We've only discovered a fraction, a very small decimal of the whole entire universe. We still need to discover so much more. And that's why I hope I become a spirit, so I can see that happening. I don't, like, obviously if you're gonna be a spirit forever, you're not gonna frickin', you're gonna get bored of it somewhat. So maybe you die as a spirit sometime, but I don't know the details of it. I just know that the universe is huge, and what's after death, I have no idea. That's just a question I'm wondering. These are the things I've been thinking about lately. It really just makes my mind kind of like hurt trying to think about it because it's like crazy, you know? Anyways, yeah, so that's about it. So, if you guys did like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Make sure to comment if you agree with anything I say in this video. And, yeah, I'll see you in the next one.